urged me to write them down. I wanted to describe what it was really like to be in the middle of events as an ordinary person given an extraordinary role to play. Each chapter is based on interviews my husband Peter Kellner conducted with me at the time. I would sit in his study in my jeans and talk about the weeks that had gone before. Peter would ask questions, helping to tease out the details. What did I say? What did the place look like? How was the mood? That colour in the black and white outline that press reports provide. Transcribing them took me back to those places and times. I was surprised at the level of detail I'd forgotten in the meantime and felt exhausted just thinking of the thousands of miles I travelled every week. I've chosen only a few of these stories for this book, and they're not in any way comprehensive histories of the time. There are many better analysts and historians who can do justice to this period in ways I never could. But I hope my memories shed some light on the complexities of diplomacy in the 21st century and remind us that what I wrote on my pencil case over half a century ago remains true today. Introduction. The word diplomacy conjures up a range of images, from palatial buildings filled with cocktail-sipping occupants in black tie and ball gowns, to earnest discussions around paper-strewn tables, or exhausted people emerging from grubby hideaways after weeks of negotiation. These three comprise the most obvious elements of diplomatic activity: representing a nation or organisation, managing international relations, and preventing or resolving conflict. It's often described as an art form, one that relies on the skills and commitment of individuals, backed by the determination of the people they represent. There is no certain path to success for a diplomat. Most of the time they work quietly, keeping relations steady, but crises can spring seemingly out of nowhere, changing dramatically in the course of hours or days and engulfing communities and sometimes countries. Some solutions require long-term, patient action, building coalitions and working through existing structures. Others need immediate attention, despite the information available being at best sketchy and incomplete. In any event, solutions rely on the same range of personal skills, tact, sensitivity, determination, and most of all, judgment. They rely on the same essential tools to achieve change: dialogue and negotiation with incentives. Even when diplomacy fails and situations descend into chaos or become frozen in conflict, ultimately the only way out is diplomacy. It is, in my view, the ultimate weapon in the arsenal of international relations, and it is underrated and undervalued. The European Union was not a conventional power like the USA, Russia or China. Its decision to create a new foreign policy service, the European External Action Service, or EEAS, brought together the resources of the Commission and Council in a new hybrid structure, strengthening its common foreign policy and using its economic clout as a soft power tool. During the years that I led European foreign policy efforts, I learnt that some common elements improved the chances of a successful outcome. I also came face to face with some of the real dilemmas of foreign policy. Above all, that decisions are rarely clear-cut and easy to take. So often there is no perfect solution. I've tried to capture something of what it was like to be there and how small pieces of history are made. Every week was different, usually involving thousands of miles of travel in a relentless, exhausting schedule. My ability to withstand jet lag successfully was in part because the time of day meant very little. I slept when it was dark and I worked when it was light. During hundreds of visits to countries around the world, I stepped inside magnificent palaces and visited the poorest neighbourhoods. I saw for myself the skyline of tents for refugees fleeing war and the beauty of buildings newly restored after years of conflict. I had the chance to use all my senses, taste the air, smell the decay and neglect, hold the frightened child, hear the noise of those giving excuses or shifting the blame elsewhere.